Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, so go and watch us. Just search at Tom and Dan Live, like and subscribe.
This Sunday is the Sanford Food Truck Fiesta.
Ay, ay, ay.
Merchman Eric is going to be out there with the Tom and Dan tent. He's always next to the Modern Plumbing tent.
Yes.
And if you want to enjoy, walking around Sanford with a cool food truck event and, just...
Tons of food, tons of drinks, and Sanford is a great little spot. And I keep telling... there are still a ton of people that I've talked to that are like, I just keep meaning to get down there. This would be a great opportunity. Lots going on and really no pressure.
And then there's History After Dark, which is the Orange County Regional History Center.
History After Dark.
Basically, it's free, and it's your way to explore the Orlando History Center, which is right downtown. November 21st, it's Thursday. It's part of the Third Thursday free events that they do. And basically,
wake up, everybody. They got these free events going on that you could be going to and having a great time.
Yeah, looking for a date night? Just go out there. And because it's History After Dark,
everything's so expensive, Tom.
They serve alcohol, and you have to buy the alcohol, but you get in for free, and then just walk around the History Center, check out all their awesome exhibits, and drink some booze and chill out. And it's like, I like a no-pressure event. No pressure event. I much rather drink alcohol and wander around and read interesting things than stand and be blasted by loud dance music. I get nothing out of that.
I'm even at a point where you can turn your trivia down, sir. I need some quiet. I need to be able to read something and sip on this martini.
Yeah.
I need to be able to educate myself while I'm imbibing. So go check that out, guys. We think you'll dig it.
And then Daniel and I will be at Cows and Cabs charity event in Winter Park.
Hot group text.
November 9th.
Hot group text last night between myself, you, and our wives. Looks like Crystal Van is breaking out her cowboy boots. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me give her a blast. She's not even here, and I'm giving her a blast.
Now, yesterday, I thought you were joking around with me about that as being cowboy.
And then I told you 10 times I said, I'm not lying. It is an event. And I said, there was a radio host that I worked with back in the day that I loved to prank. You are not that person, sir. So I was not lying.
Sure?
Not yet.
Now... Then Crystal's like, well, I'm wearing cowboy boots. Daniel and Andrew are dressed up. They're fun.
I don't think Crystal trusted me at first either, so you're rubbing off on her, and I'd appreciate it if you get out of her head. Because it used to be that me and my emotional friend, Crystal Van, were always on the same page. But you're getting to her. You're starting to grind her down. You're wearing her down, man, and I need my allies. I don't even have an emotional ally in my house except for my dog.
So then I was like, well, I'm sure everybody's not dressing up. I'll just wear some jeans and a
polo.
Like I wear
jeans and a polo.
But then I thought, what if I'm meeting some potential clients out there?
No, say what you said to me. I put it in the chat. You said yesterday during the warm-up, I think it was during the warm-up, you said that if I wore a cowboy hat to Cows and Cabs that you wouldn't stand with me. And I put the quote in there because it hurt my feelings a little bit.
So then I started overthinking it, and I was like, well, if I don't participate like everybody else is, they're going to think I'm some sort of stick in the mud.
This is how I get you. This is how I get you.
Then I'm like, oh, what is this guy? Not fun? I don't want to do business with this guy.
And then you'll be more uncomfortable with the multitude of people that walk up to you, know who you are, and they're like, hey, where's your hat? Or even worse, you have to go over to the table and they give you a paper hat that looks stupid, and you're wearing some stupid paper cowboy hat. I'm like, look at your dumb paper hat, you idiot.
So everybody has to wear hats, and they're like, oh, we made these paper ones for the people that don't like fun.
It's a shame on it.
Wear a stupid paper hat, and then they're like, we don't want to give you no money.
we don't want to network with the paper hat guy. What if they say that? Do you think businessmen in this town want to network with the guy who wore the polo of his pool cleaning company and just put on a paper hat? Or do you think they want to do business with Oil Tycoon? You're in the best shape of your life. You need a full Western Tycoon suit.
Because I think the people that are the best at business are all serious, but they're not. They're crazy.
No, they're crazy. They're psychopaths.
They're salting their Egg McMuffins, doing crazy ass, saying whatever the hell they want.
Yeah. Sometimes they're down on the side of the field.
Say anything.
Yeah, sometimes they're down on the side of the field doing what the coaches is supposed to do.
And I'm like, so that's how you have to act if you want money? You have to act like a crazy person?
One of the richest...
Say anything you want?
One of the most successful and richest people that you ever introduced me to at one point started pooping his pants in his own van he stole. So you know what I mean? Like, I think about, like, crazy rich people. They do...
Why are they so crazy?
They like fun stuff.
So that's how you get rich?
Yeah.
You're crazy?
No, that comes later, I feel like. I think you get rich, and then you're like, finally, I can go crazy.
Yeah, I thought you had to be serious.
No.
Anyway, all right.
So, are we good? Are you thinking about it? You don't have to commit now.
I'm not wearing cowboy boots. I know that for sure. But maybe I'll wear some sort of...
You have that peg foot. You can't wear cowboy boots, right?
I'll wear some sort of Western-themed button-down shirt or something. I don't know.
Where are you going to get that? You going to go to Sheplers? No. I'll go with you. You want my car drive us to Sheplers, and we'll get full outfits matching?
No,
Little and Big Enos. We'll do Little and Big Enos from Smokey and the Bandit.
All right.
We would get a lot more attention from the rich people if we were fun.
No, then we're clowns, and no one wants to,
rich people love clowns. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, but I don't know if they want to do business with clowns, but I think they do.
I think they do. I mean, are you looking around? My God, man. Are you looking? Have you been alive for the last 2 days? Do you know what's happening?
I think you do whatever you want.
It is do whatever you want. All right.
Anyway.
Let me tell you about this story. Lately, since I've been getting on the old... Well, no, let's do the voicemail first. I said we're going to do the voicemail first, and it fits better. Let's do the voicemail first. This is one of the funniest voicemails that I've ever heard. It came in this morning, and it reminds me of a Monty Python skit. And if you know Monty Python, you'll probably pick up what I'm putting down.
Hey guys, this is Sean from Vegas. I work in an upscale Italian restaurant here in Las Vegas, and today the fattest man I've ever seen came in and took his shirt off in the middle of the dining room.
I've just paused it so we could all just let that soak in. I just want that to soak in. All right,
okay.
Here we go.
And what happened was, it was hot in the dining room, and he was trying to take his hoodie off, but I guess his shirt got stuck while he was trying to take it off.
That happens.
So he walked to the very middle of the restaurant. I guess he was looking for the bathroom or something. He just decided to, give up. He just didn't want privacy anymore. He's going to take his hoodie off, and he took everything off. And he was standing there for a good, 15 seconds trying to pull his shirt out of his hoodie and then put it back on. And it was it happened out of nowhere. Like, it was a shocking thing. And as I was walking back to the back to go make fun of him with the other servers, as I was walking by one of the tables, I could hear them all muttering under their breath. They're like, I think he's drunk. Anyway, it was awesome.
It was awesome. Leave him alone. That's all. Everybody knows that feeling. You go to take off your hoodie. Florida people know this, but you don't even have to be fat. You just have to be Florida. Yeah. If you wear a hoodie in Florida, you go to take your hoodie off, and the shirt you have in your hoodie is now like a rash guard, and it's glued to your T-words.
Yeah.
So you go to take your hoodie off, and then you're just standing there shirtless, and then you have to take your shirt, pull it out of your hoodie, and then put it back on. I feel like that is a Florida thing.
Yeah.
And it's a bigger person thing, too, but you could just be sweaty and have that happen.
Yeah. But I think there's a point where, especially if you're bigger, you get so hot, you run the risk of extreme overheating, and that's why you panic. Take off.
Yeah, you do panic.
Yeah. Like, you could have made it to the bathroom.
It's like being on the bottom of a football pile.
Yeah, you're like,
I can't breathe.
Get this off me.
Yeah.
So, also, there is we're not comfortable with seeing what's underneath most people's clothes.
That goes hurt anybody. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Yeah. Because it's sometimes shocking.
Yeah. It can be shocking.
What you're dealing with. Yeah. I just said
like, sometimes you see some things. I've been places before and somebody bent over to get like a fork or something, and then you see a wound. And I'm like, whoa! And I was like, what was it? I think that was a wound. And it was a wound.
And so if you work at a restaurant, you're seeing
the worst of the worst.
Well, more like interesting, crazy things than normal.
You see a lot of doo-doo in restaurants. They just don't talk about it.
Because there's
my wife, when she worked at IKEA, I know it's not a restaurant, but I mean once a week, doo-doo. I think when you put people in a
building.
Yeah, when you have people in a building and thousands are moving in and out of it, there's doo-doo falls out.
Yeah. 1 out of a 10,000.
Doo-doo.
Yeah. And that's 2 a day.
And it's full blown.
Yeah,
I'm talking.
I mean, how many people walk through IKEA every day?
10,000?
Yeah, it's got to be maybe even more.
That's probably 6 doo-doos.
Yeah.
Every 10,000 people, I would guess 6 doo-doos, like full doo-doos in IKEA.
Yeah.
So restaurant, you're going to get some of that.
Yeah.
Poor restaurant people. No wonder they don't give us good. You know, you go to a restaurant or fast food now, and people are like, oh, they're people at fast food are crazy. I'm like, yeah, they're not getting paid. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And their clientele.
Terrible.
There's a lot of mentally ill.
Yeah, and you don't even think about and you talk about 10,000 mentally ill? Oh, that's more than 6 doo-doos. Way more than 6 doo-doos.
Yeah.
That's probably 26 doo-doos.
Yeah. They love the doo-doo the most.
They do.
And they are not embarrassed by much.
No. Becomes a weapon in some cases.
Yeah. And then, And then, God, imagine, you're just every day going to Taco Bell,
waiting for the
working the night shift,
and you know it's coming.
I go to Taco Bell every once in a while. I went. Okay, this is embarrassing.
Okay. Hold on, you did something
not embarrassing.
You know you're safe to tell these things to me because I do all of them, right? It only embarrasses you. You're saying like, oh, don't pick on me. I'm like, these are the things I do, Tom, and I'm actively tell people I do them. I eat alone in a Taco Bell.
I think that's good for business. I think rich business people like fast food.
You're right.
I think I should eat more fast food.
One of the richest soccer people I ever knew. They all love. Remember that guy? All he ate was fast food.
I thought you were supposed to do something different, but no, it's
no
fast
time
food.
for healthy food. You don't have time for healthy food.
So I was watching the NFL, and that's the only time I'm exposed to random commercials.
Yeah.
And
you saw something you wanted.
And I saw that Taco Bell is bringing back the '90s. And they got their gordita back.
They got the gordita, dude. They brought back the tostada. They brought back the Mexi Melts.
I don't know.
Mexi Melts my jam.
So in 1998 and 99, me and the Wizard and Fernando, whatever, after school, because I would take the Wizard and Fernando to school every day. I'd pick them both up.
Wow. So without you, no education. You should claim that. You should claim that.
I'm the guy that will say yes to anything, which is probably like before they were.
You drive us to school. We're bullying you.
They were just like, hey, can you pick me up? Like most people would be like, dude, I can't pick up 2 people in different parts of town and then to go to school.
That was very nice of you.
But I did it every morning.
That was really nice, man. That's a lot of gas.
And so I was like, I just said yes to everything. I still do.
Yeah.
If you ask me for anything.
He will do that.
Although now,
if you're a client of T&D Media, if you just call him and say like, hey, how about this month on the house, he'll do it.
Yeah. Now, I am old enough now where if a listener's like, do this for me, I'm like, no, I'm not. Get the hell out of here.
Oh, listeners, yeah. But clients, slave to the clients. Slave to the clients.
Anyway, so I used to go after school, and I used to eat 3 to 4 gorditas.
Be honest.
That was back when they were $1.
But 4 was when you were like feeling yourself, like drunk. Were you drunk?
No, this was after school. I was just a hungry 18-year-old Tom Van, and I wasn't big when I was 18.
There's too many similarities between you people that think the same in what you eat. Andrea Dennis loves the gorditas are her thing.
Yeah,
I'm cursing. Losing my mind. I know I'm losing my mind.
So then they discontinued the gordita, and then I remember they did the gordita crunch. And I thought
maybe that's the one she likes. You don't like that? You want a regular? Yeah, that's the one she likes.
And then I would tell them like, "Hey, can I order the gordita without the crunch? I don't want." And they're like, "No, sir, come on."
People get really mad though when you say that. I'm actually okay with that. If they say no, we don't do that. I'm like, okay, that's your prerogative.
But they didn't.
I'm not the boss.
They didn't say it like that. They said it like Darnell Mooney.
Yes.
Wide receiver.
Yeah. Rise up. Yeah.
Who now that Drake London's hurt, I'm gonna win my fantasy this week.
Oh yeah, I got him.
Anyway, back to the story. So I love the gordita, and then I saw it was out, and so the other day I was like, I'm gonna go and buy this and then eat it in the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, so you drove to Walmart.
like the 2002 Tom Van.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I went, I got 3. They're more expensive.
You were eating like a person that loves Court TV eats.
Yeah.
That's how they eat.
And then I always get 9 fire sauces. I got 3 fire sauces per gordita.
I'm a 3 per, yeah.
More than that is sloppy.
Diablo sauce is not as good, by the way.
No,
Fire's got the flavor.
And then I ate them in my truck. And
How were they?
Delicious.
Did you feel terrible afterwards, though?
No.
Okay.
I felt amazing.
You didn't have like any stomach problems or anything?
No.
Okay, good.
I felt amazing, and then I said to myself, I need to do this more.
Yeah.
This is the fun that I've been missing. and that was it. Then,
That's hilarious.
And then I was like, I'm going to eat some more gorditas.
I do love some Taco Bell, and most of my it does seem to be the one fast food restaurant that most of my friends, even if they're super healthy and train all the time, they're like, I can't give that up. I love my Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Like even John the Barber, like all these people that like love it, like they're like, no, that's the one. I like that place. I'll go there.
Yeah, no. I know it's not obviously not the best
It
for you.
Could be way worse. I think it's better than fried chicken.
Yeah,
I would imagine it has to be better than fried chicken.
You gotta run it out. That's what I tell myself.
Let me walk you through this story about, because in the mornings when I work out now, I've started like watching Netflix, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And there's this.
That is a benefit to cycling. You
can do it on a treadmill too. I mean, the tread, you could run and just watch the show and just like it'll increase your speed.
Like I work out on my trainer every once in a while, and I can much easier listen to a podcast or a book on tape or like watch something.
I prefer being outside. I wish I could run with like a pair of glasses that would have the TV in front of me, but I could still see outside. I think we're going to get there.
It's not. I don't know what, and some people could do this, and maybe I just need to run slower. But it's not as an enjoyable experience for me to listen to audio or to talking only.
Yeah.
While I run.
You want music.
Music, it just helps me way better. I
bet you the cadence and the rhythm, and it's like tribal. It like keeps you moving.
Like I literally get more tired when I listen to just people talk. I'm listening to fantasy football talk, and then I'm like, this is horrible. And then I put on some punk rock, and I'm like, okay, it made it better. Yeah. And I'm like, well, what the hell am I doing? I just got to, but when I'm cycling, I can just cycle and then listen to it.
Anything in there.
Because I can close my eyes. It's better when you can close your eyes a little bit.
Well, on the Peloton, you definitely can because you're not even moving. You're just kind of sitting in one spot. So I've started watching, all these. They dump all. I didn't even know this because I'm not really a TV or movie guy, right?
Yeah.
So this is like a new thing to me. So they started dumping all like these sort of true crime or like unexplainable things on there. They do a lot of like. Sort of like 30 for 30s. They do some Simone Biles. They've got the starting five on there.
History's mysteries.
Yeah.
That's a...
Yeah, it's like a history's mysteries. This one is about this case that's connected to a really famous UFOologist named Bud Hopkins. And it was the Brooklyn or the New York City alien abduction is what this one was called.
Okay, and this is on what streaming?
It's on Netflix. And you can find it on Netflix. I believe it's called the Brooklyn Bridge Alien Abduction, but it just came out a couple of weeks ago. I think they wanted it out in conjunction with like Halloween. And so apparently on November 30th of 1989, this woman, Linda Napolitano, was on her 12th floor Manhattan apartment near the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
And supposedly she got up in the middle of the night. She walked to her window, and then she moved the blinds because she saw this blue light. And this blue beam of light was hovering from a spaceship. She walked out of the window and was levitating. And the blue light lifted her into the craft.
Okay.
Where she described a procedure that she had where these aliens stuck a needle the size of a turkey baster up her nose, and a metal object was inserted into her nose.
Okay, all right.
And what makes this case so absolutely crazy is that there are, supposedly, air quotes, 23 witnesses that saw this happen.
Okay, all right.
And this
around the neighborhood?
Around the neighborhood, okay. And none of them know each other, all 23. And it started like this happened to her, and then I guess she started like.
Was it a leprechaun say yes?
Yeah, right. Was it a leprechaun say yeah? It does seem like that. So, but what's really interesting about this is that she started going to these like UFO support groups with this UFOologist named Bud Hopkins. Now, Bud Hopkins, if you don't know like his backstory, Bud absolutely obsessed with UFOs. He'd written some books about UFOs prior to meeting this woman, Linda, right? So she kind of gets up with him. Bud is dating a woman at the time named Cindy. Bud and Cindy is more the she's more the camera person. She's more the filmmaker.
Okay.
And Bud is more the UFOologist. So they're married, Bud and Cindy. And Bud and Cindy are investigating Linda. Well, Bud and Linda in this documentary, it is completely apparent that Bud and Linda are close. I'll say that. I don't necessarily think they were having a love triangle or anything like that.
Okay.
But the amount of like attention and like how Bud was like treating her, it was his prized story, right? For a UFOologist to have a woman that supposedly is telling this amazing story of being abducted and levitating, plus the proof of supposed 23 people that saw it happen, that he interviewed some of the people on the phone, and like they have recordings of all of this. Okay, so that's where it kind of starts, right? And you're thinking, well, this is all like horse crap, right? Like this is you don't really believe it.
23 eyewitness accounts is a lot, you know.
It is.
You know, we're not talking about 2.
Yeah.
You know, it's like 23. That's a lot of eyewitness accounts, and I'm sure that's the reason why this story is fascinating to people, because they're like, you're getting 23 people to corroborate what they saw.
Yeah.
Seems pretty,
but it's loose, right? Like, and
weird.
And you have to think about it in terms of, well, let me jump to this part. So as things go on, they're kind of investigating this thing. And again, you can watch this, you can look it up, you can read all about it. But Linda, her story gets a little more crazy. So like the next thing that she claims is that her entire family woke up one night and they all had nosebleeds on the right side. All of them. The kid, the dad, her. And then they go and they x-ray her nose, or she provides an x-ray of her nose, and the x-ray of her nose has what appears to look like a little curly Q spring that would have been in like a ballpoint pen or something.
Okay, all right.
And they're like, what is this? And Bud, you know, this
I like the aliens are like, let's put a spring in her nose.
Yeah, well, I mean, Bud Hopkins, he's got it full of, I mean, hook, line, and sinker. He's like, this is the proof. They called it like a...
Oh, there's an alien spring
in her nose.
Yeah, you got an
alien spring in your nose. Yeah, so they're going through that, you know.
Did they take it out?
When they apparently, from what Reddit says, they really never come back to it. It's like Bud. It's apparent in this documentary that this UFOologist Bud Hopkins, he only wanted enough proof to write the book, right?
Yeah.
He didn't want to explain it away, you know. So, but it seems like once he had this story, that maybe he became sort of blinded by this story, and you know, he saw the dollar signs of like, well, if I start explaining this woman's story away, I'm going to lose this book called Witness that I want to write. So he starts writing the book and everything. I mean, it's a really good documentary, but they go to the 23 you know, like what are they called? Witnesses.
Yeah.
And very few of them like some of them are interviewed, and one of them sounds like the woman Linda, and then when they try to call her back, like she's unavailable at the time. You know, so the woman, let's go back to the woman Cindy, the wife.
I like the sounds almost exactly like the person.
Yeah, it's like, no, you sound like Linda, not me. No comprende, you know. But Cindy, so the real twist in it is that Cindy, the wife of Bud, in the documentary, she basically goes on record as saying, like, I started looking at Bud's, you know, investigation with a different eye. And I saw that he wasn't asking the right questions. He wasn't critical thinking. He was being blinded to all of this just so he could write these, you know, these books. And then she came out and said that. And then the woman Linda still claims that her story's true. And then Cindy's dead, Bud's dead, and Linda's the only one alive. So basically we're left with, could have happened. That's what we're left with. Could have happened.
What's interesting, and I run across these documentaries every once in a while, but this goes to what we always talk about. There's too much content out there.
Yeah, it's like a lot of nothing. I got to the end of it, and I'm like, okay, well, this person's crazy.
It's a lot of nothing. For instance, there was a recent documentary. We should talk about or talk to Sam about this when she comes in next week.
Yeah.
But there was a recent documentary about, and I think Crystal watched some of it. She may have watched it all. Remember the guy, he's in jail now for murdering his wife, his pregnant wife, and then like they found her in like a oil drum. Peterson. Scott Peterson.
Yeah, Scott Peterson.
And then the documentary was about like Scott Peterson like could be innocent, or like, you know, it's like they proposed it to the viewer like, oh, there's some shocking new evidence, and then you're like, oh, I gotta watch, this is crazy. I remember the Scott Peterson. And then Crystal said she watched it and she's like, I mean, they stretched to make this a documentary, and it doesn't seem like there's one person that claimed this, and then they couldn't get a lot of other people to be involved in it, and that's a sign that other people are like, no, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you realize that you're like, oh, they're just doing this to get people to click on it and view it. It's not breaking news. Yeah. It's not anything shocking that we don't know about. It's like, it's just content.
What's really weird about this documentary, and this is the weirdest part, is that this woman, Linda, again, with the alien story that we all pretty much assume is fake and that she was coercing her family to go in on it with her. I guess we're all assuming that the 23 witnesses were sort of in on it, right, if it's a hoax. But what was really weird is Bud and her, again, they're spending all this time together and trying to, investigate this. It had become apparent that there were some people, maybe even the government, that were monitoring Linda and seeing what she's up to. And they were always thinking that, whatever we're on to is so important that the government wants to know. So it seems like she created these two characters named Dan and Richard, who were FBI agents that also claimed to have witnessed. They were part of the 23.
Yeah.
So 2 of the 23 were FBI agents that were on call with a very high-level diplomat. And they were sitting in their car escorting this guy they're sitting in a light, escorting this particular diplomat. It's like
like another 48 hours.
Yeah, and then they're saying that they witnessed it, right? So she claims that Dan and Richard came to her apartment in a weird, and like roughed her up, like came to her apartment, shook her, were yelling at her.
Or like Men in Black style.
Men in Black style. So in order to try and...
We don't have the mind eraser.
Exactly. We don't really have that. We just have to shake you until you forget. So Bud decides, he's like, hey, Linda, we're going to wire you up. We're going to wire you for sound. So they have recordings of this guy, Dan and Richard, and on this documentary, they play recordings. I don't know how this woman, Linda, did it.
Of the FBI agents.
Of the guys, and they're like, you shut up. Are you wired up? Do you have a microphone on? Like, what are you doing? She's like, I just want to go home. She's like screaming. And he's like, get in the car. You get in the car. And it's like all made up crap. It's all fake.
Well, is it them? Is it the
I
FBI?
don't know. I don't. There's no way to know. Everybody's dead. I'm watching this thing, and then I'm like, what are these recordings? Because they never really, it was so quickly done. They never say like, oh, this is a real recording, or like, then none of that matters anymore. Everybody just put out the goddamn content. Who cares? Who cares if it was real?
It does. Reality does not
it
matter.
It doesn't matter anymore.
You can say anything you want.
You can say anything you want. Like,
and there's no way to know, and you can claim it's 100% true or facts, and you can just say it. It doesn't even matter.
Like I'm trying to find these two guys. Yeah, Dan and Richard were the two. Let's see here. One of the agents, Dan, became emotionally invested in the case, reportedly reaching out to Napolitano multiple times afterwards. She was also writing letters to Bud and to herself as these two agents, basically saying like, hey, we saw what we saw that night, and we can't get it out of our brain, and we saw you levitate, and we believe you, and like it's nuts.
So a crazy person makes up a story.
Yeah.
That's how I would have figured right from the start. From the intro, I would have been like, crazy person made up a story.
Yeah, apparently Netflix faces a lawsuit over the Manhattan alien abduction. I didn't hear about that. Netflix has been facing challenges lately. The Manhattan alien abduction came out. Napolitano demanded compensation for 6 different claims, including defamation, misinterpretation of character, fraud, and breach of good faith. She even attempted to halt the release of the docuseries. Because they do present the other woman, Bud's wife, Cindy, they present her evidence, and she basically says, it is a fraud, and this is what I think, and I was there.
Oh, okay.
There's no real proof of it being a fraud, but she says, this is what I believe. The only proof that they did have is like some handwriting analysis that did line up between Linda and, whoever the person sending the letters would have been. But the woman, Cindy, I went to see like, let me see a follow-up of what she's been saying. She's dead. She died of cancer, and she was in hospice like before this was even released, so she passed away.
I wish the media would report what, and Netflix would never do this, and giant corporations don't do this, but it would be awesome if they did, because they get sued by crazy people all the time. They probably have hundreds of lawsuits at all times by crazy people. But they never say like, Netflix is getting sued by Linda but whatever. And then we talked to Netflix and they said, we don't care. It does not matter to us.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people are suing us at all times. This is a nothing.
I can't find these. It's weird because they seem to have the audio, and you would think you'd be able to find the audio unless they were just producing the audio.
The alien abduction in general, right? I always go back to like things like a Neil deGrasse Tyson says
it's
about
a subconscious wanting to be special. That's my theory.
It's a tale that's been told for a long time.
You should have said tale as old as time.
I started that. I was like,
as old as time.
And then, and so, yeah, I always go back to, all right, there's an alien or some sort of super hyper intelligent species that traveled from some other galaxy to us. And that species that is so intelligent and has so much more science than we do, because we can't even comprehend how you would do that, but they did. So that tells me that they would be ultra, an intelligence level that we can't even comprehend, right?
Right.
And what would be the point of them studying essentially some animal that evolved to have slightly higher intelligence than a chimpanzee.
Than other animals.
Than other animals.
It's just another animal.
And then so they know how life evolves because they're insanely intelligent. They figured out how to travel from universe to universe. And it's like there's no need to study. It's like we don't study how pigs work. We already know.
Yeah.
And then it's like we wouldn't go to another planet and abduct a pig and be like, how does it work? We just know. Like they would know.
Yeah.
They would get nothing out of studying us. And it's like, why would they even do that? I mean, that's coming from a dumb animal.
Right. Well, they kind of, in the documentary, what I did enjoy from it, because it's worth a watch. I mean, I thought it was pretty good. It's 3 episodes, so it's pretty quick, and each one's like about an hour, 45 minutes or so. But what I liked the most about it was they kind of go through and they tell you that, like, when aliens are popular, like at this time when they put out this book, I think Bud released his book in 1996, okay? So in 1996, he releases Witness, the True Story of the Brooklyn Bridge UFO Abductions. What's cool about that is like they kind of show you that at that time, it was very popular on Oprah Winfrey, on Donahue, on Geraldo Rivera. And so you're seeing the trend of aliens in culture, which then pushes subconsciously more alien sightings because people subconsciously want to be special, and they will create an alien abduction, and they will believe that they saw an alien abduction, but subconsciously they want to be unique and belong, and that it is top of mind. Aliens are very popular. We may have gone through that. Remember right before the pandemic when they were releasing the documents? Sightings increased. No S. Why did sightings increase? Because it's top of mind.
There are
which
tons.
Also goes back to your dumb animal theory.
Well, think about like the documentaries. We watch one as a family about like how the brain works or whatever. It was one of these shows, and they did tons of different like social experiments about like they reenacted a purse snatching in like Central Park, right?
Yeah.
Then they got eyewitness testimony from everybody around. And some of them, and then they brought them all in and they asked them questions, and they all had different variations of what happened based upon like even the interviewer like was able to implant things into their heads, and then they started like misremembering stories like the first person, and what they did is like they asked one guy first what happened, and he was a plant, and he altered the story and of what happened, and then everybody else kind of fed off that because they were like, oh, this guy said the hat was definitely black, and he was, and I remember it being red, but I'm going to go with him because now that I think about it, I don't remember. And it's like our eyewitness testimony is horrible.
Well, 2 points. In this documentary, they go into that, and Bud kind of tries to explain it. He tries to reverse engineer exactly what you just said. It is a cool documentary in the idea that they have all the footage from the time, so you are seeing him reacting real time to what's going on. This case of Linda Napoleano or whatever her name is. So what's interesting about him is he says the exact opposite. This is funny how humans work. He's like, because Cindy, remember his ex-wife, is basically against what he's doing. She's like, I don't believe in this anymore. I did when we started, but I don't really get it anymore. And she's saying, these people's stories, they're not adding up. And he goes, He says this. He goes, but you're just saying they're stories. These are eyewitness accounts. Eyewitness account sounds like proof. Stories just sounds like they made it up. Yeah, it works both ways. It just depends on how you want to say it.
Yeah.
I get what he's saying. Eyewitness accounts, though, are stories, bud. They're not accurate. Science has proven that.
Yeah, and then, but we really do weigh eyewitness accounts pretty heavily. I mean, we did throughout our court system.
And this lady Cindy did not. She was like, "This is not. This is all. They're all just stories."
How many innocent people are still in prison from eyewitness accounts? The problem is the eyewitness isn't lying. They really believe what they saw.
Right.
But that's the problem, because
it's
when
flawed.
when they say it to other humans, like if you say something super confidently, like it's an old scam technique. Like the more confident you are, the more people will believe you.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then when you say it, you're like, why would this? Like
you use that with our clients. I'm glad you do. Like it really seals the deal.
He seems like he's telling the truth. Yeah. He is telling. He believes it.
This guy believes it.
But just because
we will make you rich.
Just because you believe that you saw something doesn't make it true. Like, I've joked around before. This makes Crystal mad and everybody mad. It's just like
going back to the sparkler.
They're like, what would it take for you to believe whatever? And then I'm like, even if an alien beamed down in front of me and started talking to me, right?
Hey, what's up, dude?
I would first believe that somehow...
Prank. It's a prank.
No, well, prank, or I'm on some sort of, like, I got poisoned with some sort of psychedelic something.
Yeah.
Or I forgot that I took...
The green fairy.
Yeah, that acid, you know, like...
You were dosed.
I would believe I was hallucinating first. Like, the amount of evidence that you would have to present to me that this actually happened, there would have to be, like... video, but even video evidence now can be faked.
Video evidence is the worst evidence. I got to see it with my eyes.
And then but seeing with your eyes is what you could be
better than video.
You could be
video can be altered.
Yeah, no, but what you're seeing couldn't be real too as well. You could hallucinate it. And so then I started thinking about it. I was like, but then I was like, well, wait a minute. Am I saying that there's no amount of evidence that you could present to me that would change my opinion of this happening? But I'm like, that's dangerous.
Yeah, that is dangerous. Well, there are a lot of people like that. I mean,
yeah, but so then it's like, I believe that ghosts aren't real, right? And that's what I believe to be true. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I see a ghost and I'm like, well, I'm going to tell myself, like, I could be hallucinating. This is not real. And then they show me the video. They show
just say you're stuck in your ways.
I would, yeah. But that happens with real things.
Oh, it's happening now.
And so then, because people could say, like, oh, that's fake. I don't believe it. You know.
In this case, what's interesting, too, is that subconsciously, because I don't think that this Bud Hopkins was a bad person. I don't think he was trying to lie or deceive anybody. But I do think it's possible to get yourself into a situation where you're working with somebody who has a tale that they're telling you, and you want to believe them. You want to believe that they're aliens because this is your life's work, right? Yeah. If somebody came out and told me that, like, everything we were doing, like, was not real, I'd be like, well, why? You know what I mean? It's like the bottom drops out. It's interesting. I think subconsciously, he didn't ask the hard questions because he knew if he did, he'd ruin his book. And he'd ruin
his... of course. Yeah, yeah.
But I don't necessarily think he was doing that deliberately. I don't think he was actively saying that. So it's it is an interesting documentary in that regard.
Well, it goes back to, if you search something on the internet that you believe, you'll find the answer you're looking for.
You can, yeah.
So, like,
in this case, he just wasn't, though. He was seeing holes.
He's making a documentary, and he's not searching the truth.
Yeah, he's writing a book, and the book is still out there. You can get it, but he's writing a book about people's, eyewitness accounts of these Brooklyn things, and then he's not asking, like one of the ladies was an older woman, and she didn't remember where she was. I mean, he still took her account. And it's like, well, you're taking the account of a person that doesn't even know where they were that night. How is that even valuable?
Yeah.
So it is interesting that I think he was blinded that way.
It's called fluff.
Yeah, but then there are some people that think maybe he was banging the lady. And I will tell you, as a man, and as a man that she's a very attractive lady, it would be hard for me to think that he didn't, in some weird way, because she was his prize subject, I think he fell in love with her. I think he did.
Oh, I do that with my wife. She tells me cuckoo bananas things all the time.
Makes you fall in love with her.
No. I don't question them, because if I did, maybe I can't get it later.
Yes, that's what he was doing.
Be mad at me. So,
that's what he was doing.
She's telling me something. She's like, I think
there's fairies in the oak trees
so whatever.
outside.
I'm like, okay, because my goal is just to get it.
Yeah.
And then my goal isn't to find out the truth.
Maybe that was Bud's goal.
Bud's
goal was to get it.
I can't handle the truth. I can't handle getting it. That's all I want.
That's all anybody wants.
Yeah. I just want to get it. I just want to.
I want to get it, go to bed, get up in the morning, get it again, then
I want to eat gorditas.
I want to eat gorditas and get it.
Yeah, that's it. And if you could provide that life to me, I'm not searching for the truth.
I want 4 gorditas, 2 beers, and to get it.
Because if the truth blocks my gorditas and getting it, then I don't want it.
Yeah, 2 G's.
Yeah. All right.
We got to get out of here.
All right. Again, we have the food truck fiesta this weekend on Sunday.
Come hang out.
History After Dark. That's November 21st at the Orange County Regional History Center.
You can make plans now. Circle that on your calendar and get out there for date night.
And of course, Beer Fest, our completely free Beer Fest, and Sofa and Suds, the Sanford Couch Racing. That's happening November 23rd and 24th. So, and the Beer Fest, basically, we start handing out cups and gift bags at noon. Yep. And then the pouring will start at 2, and we've got live music. We've got a DJ. Yeah. We just confirmed there's like a dozen different food trucks. There's a bunch of vendors, our sponsors.
Out there.
Yeah, around 30 different breweries that are bringing beer samples.
Some different stuff out there, too. I think some seltzers, maybe even some craft liquors out there.
We did just purchase some full pour pint glasses that we always do for charity for Yellow Brick Road. Yep. And so Daniel and I bought those for Yellow Brick Road, so Yellow Brick Road can sell those for $20 a piece. You'll get a full pour, full pour, and all that money will go directly to Yellow Brick Road, which helps out kids with congenital heart failure, and they're in the hospital.
Kids that have heart defects, a lot of times they're not mobile and they can't get outside. And Yellow Brick does a lot of good work to get these kids seeing the grandparents and their folks, and just a little bit more of a normalcy that they don't typically get.
And then the next day, the Sanford Couch Races, which you still have time to. I think all the couches are filled.
What about
the recliners?
Recliners.
You only need 2 people. A recliner on wheels. You could promote your business. Yep. I mean, then me and Daniel will be hosting the event, so we'll.
We'll give you some love for sure.
Yeah, and then if you win a trophy, and then you'll be the reigning champion, and it's pretty. I
think you get the trophy for the year. You can put it in your place of business and brag to all your friends. But a couple more recliners if you're looking to plug your business.
All right, guys, we will see you on Monday.
Welcome back to a corporate time.
Real quick, I'll plug History After Dark.
Please.
That's the Orange County Regional History Center, and it's a free event November 21st from 5 to 9 p.m., and you could just walk through the History Center and enjoy some beers and cocktails.
Let's just call it what it is. You can have a beer in the History Center.
Yeah.
Haven't you ever wanted to be in a building that you're not allowed to drink a beer in and drink a beer in it?
It
makes everything better.
It does.
Like, I've been wanting to tell Jeff from the Science Center the same thing. It's like, you guys need to say, have you ever wanted to have a beer where you shouldn't have a beer?
They should rent out the Orange County Courthouse.
Yes.
Just
to drink a beer
you can
in the judge's seat.
Yeah, you can sit. You're like
$100. You get to drink a beer there. You get your picture made with a gavel.
You wander around, and everybody just
write that down for Scotty.
Have some drinks.
Write that down.
Look at that.
We get the big
People
boss.
do that.
Isn't the big boss from the History Center coming by here pretty soon? They got a new big boss.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna have her in here.
Let's not suggest that.
Let's not. Yeah, hold on. Don't write that down. Erase that. That's the first time I've ever said erase that.
So I sent you a video, and
okay, yeah. Let me get this.
So
going here.
You
sent me a video of some dumb old nerd,
and it's really not my fault. It's the way my brain is wired, and people.
Is this a Jerry Reed? If you're hot, you're hot. So there we go.
Well, Crystal often gets mad at me. She was yelling at me to.
You're on a good streak lately. You've been like about 380 days of her being really mad at you.
Yeah.
When do you break your streak?
I don't know. I think never.
Yeah.
I think every day we get older, it gets worse.
Worse, yeah.
But so she gets mad at me for ruining everything and not having any sort of magic in my life, or
it's hard for you to.
She's like, "Why do you try to figure everything out?
You're not a real pretender. Like let's pretend we're on the surface of the moon. That's like the hardest thing for you to do, right?
It's why I can't enjoy magic for the sake of magic. I need to figure out the trick.
Yeah.
And so
you like it just makes you crazy.
Yeah, when I see something, all I can think about, I don't enjoy what I saw. I get immediately angry that I can't figure out how it's done.
Yeah.
And then when I finally figure out how it's done,
you think you're stupid. And it makes you mad?
It's enough. I don't even get joy out of that.
But
I'm
are
just
you
like,
judging yourself? I didn't mean that
too easy.
I didn't mean that you're stupid. Again, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I was right then. That I was right. You use the fact that you didn't know the trick that the magician pulled off as a way to tell yourself you should have known that, right? A variation of that?
No, I just want to know how it's done.
Of course it's done that way.
I don't even really... What I get... I usually think it's how easy it is, and then I kind of ruin it more. I'm like, it was so easy that I'm mad that I thought that it was going to be super complicated, and it's just he had the pen taped to the back of his thumb. It's like, the playing card was in the orange the entire time. Then I get mad that it's so easy, and that it took me so long to figure it out.
Or if it's complete nonsense, right? Like a plastic thumb, you're like, well, that's not even a trick.
Yeah. So anyway, and I do this with TikTok videos and Reels because I often, in my algorithm, there is a lot of like people that present weird coincidences, kind of like what we talked about.
These people think they're smarter than us too, by the way. These people that just do these shows.
Like histories, mysteries, like, all these things we were talking about last show.
Strange America.
And there's lots of influencers that do this, and I'm sure I'm only seeing the top.
They're not influencing me. So I don't call them that. They're just nerds.
And so I'm scrolling TikTok, and then I run across this guy presenting crazy historic coincidences.
Strangest coincidences in history, he says.
Yeah. All right, then play the video.
All right, here is, let me make sure I get the volume up here so we can hear this nerd. Here he goes.
Strangest coincidences in history. On December 5th, 1664, a ship sank off the coast of Wales in the Menai Strait. All 81 passengers lost their lives in the wreck, save for one survivor. His name was Hugh Williams. Then on December 5th, 1785, another ship sunk in the same spot. Once again, the only survivor was a man named Hugh Williams. In 1820, yet another ship sank in the same location. Once again, the only survivor was a guy named, you guessed it, Hugh Williams. Now, you'll sometimes read this third wreck occurred on December 5th as well, although in truth, the shipwreck actually occurred on August 5th of that year. The date probably got changed to make the coincidence sound even stranger. But the coincidence is plenty strange enough all on its own. That's because on August 19th, 1889, a coal barge sunk in the same area. This time there were two survivors. And I know what you're thinking. One of these guys has to be named Hugh Williams, right? Well, not exactly, because both of them were.
Oh, and then he did the thing. That doesn't matter. I'm going to punch that man in the face. I hate that guy.
It's just some nerd dad trying to get a lot of TikTok followers.
God, here's another disturbing facts.
So,
that's another thing TikTok has to fix. Give me a way to turn you off.
So when I showed that to Crystal, because I showed it to Crystal, she's like, "Whoa, that's a crazy thing."
So there were 5 Hugh Williams in total.
That's what this guy's claiming. Now, by the way, we're all too lazy to actually search what the thing is. But immediately, and this is how my brain works, and this is why I can't have fun, is immediately when I see that video, I don't think, wow, that's a crazy coincidence. Like Lincoln's assassinator was named John Kennedy or whatever the hell.
You rub it off on me because I watched that and immediately I think that's not true.
Well, here I think it is true, but Hugh Williams must be something because we're talking about the it started in the 1600s.
It's the name that they put down for people that don't have a name or are illiterate. It's the name you put down for a person with special needs. They're illiterate. And you're like, what's your name? You're going in the galley. And they can't articulate their name, so you write down Hugh Williams for everybody.
Well, I go even further.
It's like John Doe. It's the original John Doe.
It's kind of like either it's a John Doe scenario or that, listen, back, we're talking 1600s to 1800s. Right. Everybody's superstitious. So I'm guessing that there may be, and this is in Britain or some of the, there may be some sort of tradition that the people in the shipping industry, if a ship was lost and everybody died, instead of making it like 0 survivors, they would for some commemorative or some sort of like
it's sort of the ghost of the sea. It's it's literally the tip of the hat to Poseidon. You give it a Hugh Williams.
And instead of putting 0 survivors, they put a Hugh Williams as the lone survivor, and that's what this guy is presenting. There's no way there was an actual human being in every account after hundreds of years that survived the same shipwreck in the same location that was named Hugh Williams, right? So, and then it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
do you want the answer?
Instead of the chat room already got it. Am I close? Because I didn't look this up. I just guessed.
Now, it would be better, I think, for the sake of the experiment, to leave you with no answer, forcing you to have fun.
But I've already ruined it in my head.
Okay,
you've
already ruined it. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Mike FX, he says, multiple publications and websites state that the 1820 sinking occurrence on August 5th, actually, it occurred on August 5th, not on December 5th, the date claimed in the Post. A Welsh author and historian told AAP Fact Check he could not prove the 1664 incident ever happened, while the date of the 1820 incident in the Post was false.
Okay, so
nevertheless, Hugh Williams is a common Welsh name, and there were multiple boating accidents on the Menai Strait, so it was possible 3 people with the same name could be sole survivors of maritime accidents over the 200-year period, just not on the same date. So they're doing what Bud, the alien guy did. They're not asking that. They're just, it's cool. We'll just kind of fudge this and fudge that and make it.
This is saying lots of people died, and Hugh Williams was a popular name, so it's possible that but also impossible to even prove because the paperwork is so shabby, and we're talking about what. Hundreds of years old, that it's like, it's there.
I'm also thinking I'm guessing the shipwrecks happen a lot, right?
Yeah. Well, especially back then. Yeah, people were dying.
So like people the chat room saying,
you died at 30.
No one mentioned 500 other survivors over 200 years. Melissa's saying that. Yeah, that's true.
So speaking of conspiracies, the only 2 conspiracies in my entire life that I actually feel like there's some merit to, or like that maybe there's something weird.
We get a peek into your crazy.
And I don't like most conspiracies. I'm like, it's like magic tricks. They can easily be explained, or the truth is
out there.
It's like what happened was so bizarre that people can't wrap their head around. Like, oh, this. It must have been something else.
Yeah, so they have to explain it away.
Like 9/11, right? It's like people are like, oh, it's.
So that's the first one you believe?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The Epstein one, even though it's like, oh, someone killed Epstein, and I'm like, it does, because we were on the show when it happened, and we reported, we're like, oh, someone tried to kill Epstein, and then I was like, the next day, like someone didn't kill them, even though I'm sure there's lots of people that try to look into it, and maybe it was just like the guard forgot to check in on him, he killed himself, right. And maybe this is stupid, but that one seems so fishy because I'm like, there's so many rich, influential people that it's like, maybe this guy wanted to kill himself and they paid the guards to look the other way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe someone didn't actually strangle him, but maybe they just looked the other. I don't know. That one seems crazy.
I only get as far as basically the broccoli-headed influencers that try to storm his island and get their pictures on it on jet skis. I watch those videos all the time. Would you storm Epstein's island with me on jet skis just so we get some photos? Have Melissa on another jet ski filming us?
You
get on there and you just jump up and down. You're like, we're here. Then you have to get on your jet ski and immediately haul ass because I'll come and get you.
What's on that island?
Nothing, just this little.
Are there people, caretakers?
Apparently just
who
security.
owns the estate now?
I don't know. It's just security that on there. It's just black guys in golf carts. They're like, yeah, you get out of here. They yell at you.
Who is in charge of all the money? Did it go to someone?
I don't know.
Like, because the girlfriend of the wife she's in jail now. Like, is it in some sort of family?
Maxwell. Giselle, what, I forget her first name.
Because it wasn't like, didn't he make all, like, a lot of that wealth through, like, fraud and different, just like, people just gave him money. It's bizarre.
I'll be real
the
with you.
The whole thing's bizarre.
I'll be very real with you. I get as far as about, like, he was there with the kids, and I'm like, I'm out. So I don't really know that much about it. You know what I mean?
And
I know that a lot of celebrities have photos with him.
Like, who wants
I would buy the island.
No, but like,
make it a, you know what? I'll turn it around. I can make that island great again. I guarantee you I can.
But it's just the, like.
I can do it.
The person that buys, it's like who?
No, I don't believe.
Who bought Michael Jackson's Crazy Wonderland? Or whatever?
I'd buy that too. That's what I really want is the Crazy Wonderland.
Like, who bought? Was it called Neverland?
There's nothing cooler than a pedophile's wonderland than when it's overgrown with vines. To me, that's spooky, right? Oh, spooky pedophile vines everywhere, and you're walking around.
It would make for great Halloween Horror Nights, right?
Yeah, oh my God, you're walking through. Oh my God, Michael Jackson around every corner. Every corner, there's a man with a missing nose.
Like. Look up what happened to Neverland Ranch.
All right, I'll do ChatGPT.
Or just look it up on TikTok. I find most of my information now through TikTok. It's presented in a very pleasing fashion. Like, people spend a lot of time presenting a mini documentary to me, and I'm like, I appreciate that.
I forgot to tell you this, but ChatGPT now searches the web and throws videos and stuff in there now.
No, really?
Like, you can just tell it to do stuff. You can be like, you can go. I did this. I tested it last night. You can go to ChatGPT because I needed to pick me up. And I said, I want to hear Carl Lewis sing the national anthem because it's so bad. I did this last night. And I just asked ChatGPT, I go, find that clip. And here's the clip, Dan. Here is what ChatGPT says about Neverland Ranch.
As of November 2024, Neverland Ranch is owned by billionaire businessman Ron Burkle. He purchased the 2,700-acre property in December 2020 for $22 million. Site turned search 2. Since acquiring the estate, Burkle has undertaken renovations and has allowed its use as a filming location for a biographical film about Michael Jackson, featuring his nephew, Jafar Jackson.
There you go. So it's now a set in the Michael Jackson movie for Jafar Jackson.
His nephew is named after the villain from Aladdin.
And I think he's playing Michael Jackson.
Jafar Jackson.
Yeah, but he's an evil Michael Jackson. He's an evil Michael Jackson. And he wants to kill Simba Jackson. He won't rest until he kills Simba Jackson.
So this billionaire bought Neverland Ranch.
Ron Burkle.
Why?
We got to get an interview with Ron. You think we can get an interview with Ron Burkle?
No.
And talk to him like, hey, why'd you buy the ranch? You find anything weird? You find any Coke cans with pubes on it?
Also, pretty small. Maybe he bought it just for land development because it's $22 million for 1,200 acre. I guess the property alone isn't near influential California in some way.
I don't think.
Or is it out in the ranch
I think it's out, but I think it's in a desired area. I don't think it's in a.
Like, is it close enough where you could just build a development there?
Would you live in an apartment in Neverland? I would do that.
I guess
I would do that.
Maybe
do you leave the attractions there for the people that live in the Neverland apartments?
I guess.
Like, instead of a basketball court, racquetball, and a place to wash your car, you have a carousel. You have a train that runs around the apartments.
When does it become
snack bar?
Like the stink of it? When does that wear off? Because
it stinks.
Like, even my sons, have heard Michael Jackson. They don't know about the whole thing, but they know
Little
of
boys, you've been to Neverland Ranch. You're gay. Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? They know of Michael Jackson. And then, so when they grow up, I don't think they're going to want to live in an apartment complex that was built on the Neverland Ranch. Because they're just like,
Worse than an Indian burial ground? Which is more haunted? Living in an apartment that's on Neverland Ranch ground, or living in an apartment that was on, like, Seminole Indian burial?
Although
I feel like Neverland was a place.
It had become like they're impossible to ever really prove any, like, Michael Jackson did anything like, molestation or whatever, because soon even the victims will be dead.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about the UFO case, is that, like, all the people that were involved in it are gone.
Yeah,
the only person alive is the lady that claims she was abducted by aliens. So guess who wins?
Yeah. There are people, we've talked to them, I forgot their names, but they do the podcast and radio show. Like
Fritz Coleman and
the lady.
The lady is She's an advocate for some of Michael's alleged victims.
Yeah.
Is that said right?
If you ask that lady, and I think
she thinks Michael Jackson is a monster.
Yeah. She's convinced. So I don't know. She's pretty.
You can't change her mind. But there are a lot of old people that, like, you know, my grandma would have been a hardcore Trumper. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to change her mind no matter what.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're older and you believe something, it's not going to. You know what I mean? It ain't going to change.
Yeah. I know.
I don't know. You want to do another voicemail here?
Yeah.
Let's try. Hold on here. Let's try this one right here. Real big topic that we had, and namely, we're getting a lot of our independent contractors about firing clients.
Hey, guys. You're talking about firing clients, and I own a small plumbing business, and, yep, I fire bad clients. I have a guy on my phone I named Grumpy Old Man who hung up on me, so I don't answer his phone calls anymore. Yeah, bad clients don't pay. I like working for rich people who do pay. Take it easy, guys. Have a good day.
Yeah, apparently that's a thing. Like, if you are a pain in the ass client, people will be like, we're done.
Yeah. Now, the problem with that mentality is, yes, of course, every business would prefer to work with some rich person that didn't care about money.
Not everybody has that.
You give them the bill, and they pay you day of, and nothing matters. And there's like, yes, everybody wants that, but that's not reality.
Correct.
Yeah, like the reality is you're going to have to deal with some problem clients every once in a while, and it's the cost of doing business. Now, I get it. You could eventually ignore or not take the business of the most troublesome ones and the ones that give you the most problems.
I mean, we do that kind of, right? I mean,
we did it one time.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes and that's not to say that anybody's a pain in the ass, but I do believe that whatever you're being compensated has to justify whatever you're doing. And so if you just look at it like that, if like some dumb old man is calling you 25 times a day and you're just doing his yard, it's not worth it.
Well, I'll give a real life example. The BDM, you could subscribe to become a BDM. It's all the way from $195 or $10.95, but it used to be a standard $2.95.
It did.
And there have been times throughout the decade of us doing this that there has been a BDM that wants to cause an abnormal amount of problems, or that seems to be troublesome, where they're fighting all the time on the BDM page, and then no matter how many times you warn them, they go back to it. They're addicted to it.
Yeah, they love it. They love it.
They have to love it.
They have to do it.
After a grown ass man talking to another grown ass man, I'm like, listen, come on, buddy.
What are you doing?
Can we just chill?
Go have a glass of water.
I don't mind every once in a while you mix it up, but and I appreciate you paying. I thank you very much. I don't take this as I don't appreciate a customer.
I appreciate all of them, but it's just you don't get to do whatever you want.
Yeah. So it's like, can you please? Yeah, and they're like, oh, okay, I'll do it. And then they do it again.
Yeah, they can't stop.
Which I kind of like, actually. And if any of you listening that did this,
it's a pain in my ass.
I laugh.
I
laugh. I'm like, I did it. Yes. I pump my fist. I'm like, yes. But then I say, I'm sorry. You have to go now.
You have to go.
And then they get real mad. They're like, I'm paying $2.95, or you refund your money. I was like,
it's like, I'm sorry.
The $2.95 not enough all this work of me constantly having.
You gave me $10.95. I might have a little more patience in my pocket.
Stop doing that. Yeah, that's why you let the $10.95ers. We give them a little more
more patience in the pocket.
Yeah. Now eventually it'll be too much. We'll have to boot you out of there.
But we're not there yet.
Yeah.
I don't like to look. I don't punish before things happen.
Yeah.
I'm fair.
Yeah. So that's how.
Maybe we'll never get there.
I'd
like to think we'll never get there, but we will. We'll get there.
And I'll pump my fist. Like, you did it again. Yes.
Yeah. It does make us laugh. We'll be like, oh, did you say it? Did you say it? Tom's like, oh, he did it again.
He promised to me to my face he wouldn't do it again. He did it again. All right.
Let's do this one. Hold on. I got a good one for you. Let's do this one right here. We had also talked about what is the way that you get rid of hiccups?
The same as everybody. I hold my breath.
Yeah, I do that.
I try to drink. I hold my breath, drink the water. The water doesn't seem to do anything extra special.
Here is someone who thinks that they can help us out.
Hey, Tom and Dan and potential guest. You guys were talking on the Friday Free Show about hiccups. And believe it or not, I found a way that actually works every single time I do it. I don't know if it works for everybody, but it does work for me. As you eat a great big spoonful of peanut butter and for some reason your throat, esophagus, whatever, doesn't like it, and it makes the hiccups stop. Just thought I'd let you know. See ya.
Okay, so we get you get the hiccups.
Ask ChatGPT. See if they does peanut butter stop the hiccups. I've never heard this in my entire life. Have you?
No, I have not. I get the hiccups a lot though because I got some gastrointestinal issues.
Right off the bat, it seems like it wouldn't work.
Well, let's see what chat says here. Here we go. Oh.
Yes, some people find that peanut butter can help stop hiccups. The thick, sticky texture of peanut butter requires a slow, steady swallowing motion, which might interrupt the diaphragm spasms that cause hiccups. Here's how it works. 1. Take a spoonful of peanut butter and let it sit in your mouth for a moment. 2. Swallow slowly and thoroughly. The process of moving the peanut butter around in your mouth and swallowing it might reset the diaphragm's rhythm. Though it's not scientifically proven, it's a popular home remedy and worth a try if you've got some peanut butter on hand.
Never heard that.
It's weird that we've never heard.
ChatGPT made that up. I'm 48 years old and I get hiccups all the time and no one's told me, hey, because I love peanut butter too. You know that's one of my favorite foods. I'll just go in there and get a little spoon of peanut butter and get rid of my hiccups. I'll try it.
It's weird that we've never heard that.
Never
because
heard that.
peanut butter's been around for a minute.
Yeah, but I don't believe anything anymore. I'm kind of like you. It's like anybody says, "Did you hear?" Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah. Well, I heard about
What's funny, I believe the computer. The caller, I was like, you don't know. And then ChatGPT told me, I was like, they know.
Yeah, this guy knows.
They took all the information available in the world.
Did you search the web for that? Let's see, because sometimes it just like tells me stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute,
just making it up.
I'm like, did you search?
I don't know. Can it do that?
Yeah, I can't. No, it's sticking with its story. Yeah,
right.
And it cited sources. If I click the sources, I got WikiHow, Very Well Health, Eat More Butter, SharpHealthcare.com, Mashed.com, 9 News,
Jiffy.com.
Medical Daily, Chef's Resource.
This is lies being spread by Big Butter.
Big Butter. Yeah. What's your favorite butter?
Every morning.
You're a peanut butter guy?
No, every morning I eat almond butter.
Almond butter's good. It's better for you, right?
Yeah, because I'm gay.
But isn't it better for you? It's really expensive, though.
Yeah.
The only reason we don't do the almond butter is because it's too damn expensive. Because you get like it's like a tiny little thing.
The internet, healthy people told me that if I put a healthy fat in my smoothie, but not to use peanut butter, to use a different nut butter because it's better for you than peanut butter. I'm not sure why, but
I believe that.
They said like peanut butter is not. It's just a lot of sugar.
Throwaway food. I just use the PB2. That's all I use is the powdered one because it's just easy. Everybody in my house, though, eats a smoothie. So we fight over the machine. So we use the PB2 because we just crank through smoothies like crazy.
Yeah.
Maisie has one. I have one. Andrea has one. And then it's just easier to put powder. It's all powders, though, and I'm sick of powders. Powders are gross. Let's try this one right here. Hold on.
I will tell you, every morning I take a spoonful of peanut butter. Then I try to get the peanut butter off the spoon. I put it in the sink, and it drives Crystal crazy.
Why don't you just eat it?
Well, have you ever tried almond butter straight? Not as good.
Well, it doesn't have any sugar.
Yeah. I just mix it. I just want the healthy fat. I don't want the.
Don't they make almond powder? They should just buy almond powder, and then you don't have to worry about the spoon.
Crystal buys it at Costco. I don't know, and I'm stuck in my ways. But yes, you're right.
Yeah, just get that. But I bet it's expensive. Everything in powdered form and almonds. Almonds are so expensive, dude.
No, yeah.
Almond, it does taste better. It's better for you. Let's try this one right here.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll come across an old rap song with some kind of questionable lyrics, and it'll make me kind of do it.
I don't think I can play this one. I'm just going to call an audible.
Okay, all right. Does he say the N-word?
No, but I think he says kind of like a, what is it, Tupac lyric about masturbation.
No, all right.
Not something I want to do.
Oh, I'm trying to think of the Tupac lyric about masturbation.
You want to run it? Let's run it. I'm a brave man. Let's run it.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll come across an old rap song with some kind of questionable lyrics, and it'll make me kind of do a double take. I want to bring this one up to you guys real quick. The Tupac song Hail Mary, at some point in the song he says, Mama told me never stop until I bust a nut. And I wonder what that conversation must have been like. Like, listen to your mama, young Tupac. Never stop until you bust one, okay? Okay, sweetie? Anyway, see you later, guys.
Even if she's trying to fight you. I am not familiar with that lyric. And Dear Mama?
I'm not familiar with that either.
I thought it was all about...
I'm glad I didn't have Tupac's mom, because I don't want my mom telling me to bust a nut.
I thought it was all about her working 2 jobs to support you. And
that's not true. That's not a lyric. Hold on. I'm going to ask ChatGPT. In the song Dear Mama, does Tupac's mom tell him to not stop until he busts a nut?
All right.
They were going to get out of business. Nobody does a show like this. We answer the questions. And we got flagged. I knew we were going to. And here's what ChatGPT says.
No. In the song Dear Mama, Tupac doesn't include any lyrics where his mother tells him to not stop until he busts a nut. The song is a heartfelt tribute to his mother, Afeni Shakur, and focuses on themes of struggle, resilience, and gratitude. He expresses appreciation for the sacrifices she made for him, despite difficult circumstances, and there are no explicit sexual references in this song. Dear Mama is widely recognized for its emotional depth and respect for maternal love. The lyrics focus on his mother's strength, challenges, and their close relationship.
So this guy just heard it wrong? Is it one of those things where he just...
I don't know. So I asked, what is the line we misheard? And this is what ChatGPT says.
The line you might be thinking of is, and even though I sell rocks, it feels good putting money in your mailbox. Sometimes people mishear this line as something sexual because of the way the words are phrased. But the actual lyric is about Tupac giving back to his mom by sending money, despite the struggles he's had.
Oh, Dear Mama. It's Hail Mary. Andrea's right.
Proud to
it's in Hail Mary.
Oh, go.
Song Hail Mary.
Sorry. Did I say Dear Mama and he said Hail Mary?
It's all running together. Does Tupac say his mom told him to not stop until he busts a nut? It's amazing that ChatGPT knows what nut busting is. Like, it's like, sorry, Dan, I can't tell you.
Yeah, you can't pronounce Tupac though. He's a Tupac.
Okay, well, I think this guy's wrong again.
Okay.
No. In the song Hail Mary, Tupac doesn't include any lyrics about his mother telling him to not stop until he busts a nut. This line isn't found anywhere in the song. The lyrics in Hail Mary focus more on themes of vengeance, survival, and struggle, and it has a darker, introspective tone. The song reflects on Tupac's challenges and the violent environment around him, with lyrics addressing his enemies, the harsh realities of his life, and a call for spiritual guidance.
Wait a minute. It's contradicting itself because I said, well, then what's the lyric? And then here, like, check this out.
Well,
it's going to go.
Okay.
No, it's not going to read it. It says, okay, he won't read it because it's got a curse word.
Okay.
It says, the line you're thinking of is from Tupac's song, Hail Mary. And it actually goes, Mama told me never stop until I bust a nut. Blank the world if they can't adjust.
So he did.
He did say it.
Yeah.
So that's why you can't use ChatGPT. There's so much misinformation on there.
Yeah,
You can't. It's not there yet. It is in there.
Yeah.
That is a weird conversation. Why would your mom say that?
Well, he was an artist.
Yeah.
Like he could have just been.
Maybe the mom was for for ladies. Like hey, make sure she gets hers, fellas.
You've said a lot of things that you claim your dad said. He probably didn't say.
Yeah, most of it's lies.
You name exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
it's artistry.
Oh, at this point I've actually trampled his memory. Right, like
you've created a completely opposite. I've met your father.
Yeah.
He's
a lovely man.
He's not as cartoony as you portray him.
No. I make him look vile and horrible.
We just sat at Bike Week and had a sensible Bud Light
He's
together.
He's a quiet man. You guys sat quiet. You didn't say one word to each other. He loved you. He thought you were a good boy.
Didn't talk like a goddamn cartoon
chicken. Leghorn,
all these, but
Just Jen. Okay, so it's out of context. Just Jen got it in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan. It's out of context. If you read the entire thing, it's like, don't stop until you get what you want.
Yeah,
Get your nut.
It's art.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like keep working until you get yours.
Yeah,
you know,
he's
like,
not actually talking about busting your nut.
Right.
Which has always been, I feel like, the worst slang for that action. I never liked it.
Bust a nut?
Yeah.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
The busting part.
I will say my dad was a fan, though.
Yeah.
No, that goes back to the last thing they just said. He never said any of that. Yeah. I like the bust a nut. He's never said that. He's never said that.
And as you get older, a lot less busting.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like
it's more like spilling it. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's like
all right.
It's like trying to carry chili to the. It's like trying to carry chili to the microwave.
All right. We'll be right back.